On the upper deck, the steamer Tabo makes its way up the Pasig River one December morning. On its upper deck is Doña Victorina, traveling in search for her husband, Don Tiburcio, who has fled from her abuse. On deck, two are Don Custodio, the writer Ben Zaib, and Padre Salve, Sibayla, Irene, and Camora, the steamer's captain. Also present is the jeweler Simon, conspicuous for his long white hair and large blue sunglasses. He is reputed to have advisory influence over the Captain General. The group fall into discussing the winding path of the river. Simon suggests digging a new canal straight from the mouth of the river passing Manila, enclosing Old Pasig. To achieve this, he further suggests the destruction of towns, using prisoners as laborers to eliminate the cost, and increasing forced labor among men and boys. Don Custodio and Padre Sibayla bring up the possibility of uprisings, which Simon sharply dismisses as he leaves the group to head below the deck.
Chapter 2 on the lower deck. Below deck, medical student Basilio and the young poet Isagani chat with Capitan Basilio. The younger Basilio first apprised the captain of the lack of improvement in Capitan Tiago's health condition and supposed continued use of opium. Their conversation turns to the Spanish Language Academy the young men are planning to start. Capitan Basilio is doubtful of their success, but the young men dispelled his doubt by revealing they expect a permit soon, and that they have teachers and funds contributed by fellow students. Their venue will be the house of the student named Macaraig. Capitan Basilio concedes and heads off. The young men move on to the other topic, including Paulita, Doña Victorina's niece, and Isagani's love interest. Doña Victorina's hiring of Isagani to look for Don Tiburcio, and the fact that Don Tiburcio is actually hiding in Isagani's uncle's house. Simon joins them briefly, and Basilio introduces him to Isagani. Also below deck on the rear is Isagani's uncle, Padre Florentino, now retired and with a fortune left to him by his long-departed mother in exchange for his taking orders.
Legends. Padre Florentino and Simon John join the group of soup of the upper deck, and the captain launches into the topic of legends about the Pasig River. He talks about Malapad na Bato, believed to have been the home of spirits but later became a bandit's nest. Padre Florentino next tells the story of Donna Hermina, a woman who had grown old waiting for her betrothed, who had forgotten her and had gone on to become the Archbishop of Manila. To appease her, he prepared a cave for her where she lived and died. Hearing this, Simon turns to Padre Salvi and pointedly remarks at how ungallant the Archbishop had been. He believed it would have been more fighting if the lady were shut up in the nunnery like Santa Clara. An unforgettable Padre Salvi changed the topic and relates a legend of his own about an unbelieving Chinaman who, when attacked the Cayman, invoked Saint Nicholas, and the Cayman turned to stone as the streamer enters the lake. Ben Zaib asked the captain where a certain Ibarra had quick account of the pursuit of the lake 13 years and indicates where Ibarra had been lost.
Cabezang's Tales. Here is the story of Tandang Celo and his son Tales, old friends of Basilio. Tales, experiencing some improvements in his family's fortune, decides to clear a portion of the woods to cultivate. During their first harvest, a religious corporation claims the land as their own and exacts an annual fee from Tails. He pays dutifully but begins to rebel when the fee becomes exorbitant. He takes the religious order to court, arms himself, and begins patrolling his land. Tails loses the case and up draining his resources. His only son, Tano, is conscripted as he is unable to pay for a substitute. Tano is later rumored to have either embarked for the Carlins or become a Guardia Civil. To make matters worse, bandits kidnap Tails and demand a ransom. To save her father, Julie sells her belongings except for a locket Basilio gave her. A locket Basilio received from a leper patient who in turn obtained it from Captain Chaga's daughter. To complete the ransom amount, Julie borrows money from an old religious lady and agrees to work as a servant to pay for it.
Chapter 5: A Coachera's Christmas Eve. Basilio arrived in Santiago is delayed, as his coachera had been detained and knocked about by the Guardia Civil for forgetting his cedula. They are delayed a second time as they wait for the Christmas procession to pass. The coachera invites the time of the saints, thinking there were no civil guards then. Else Methuselah would not have lived to an old age, nor a black magic allowed to be with the others. As they continue down the road, Basilio notes the fewer ornament and the sound of merriment, and thinks this.
Juan Crisostomo Ibarra changed his name and identity to a rich jeweler named Simone. In disguise, he traveled the world amassing wealth which they intended to use to topple to corrupt and abusive remain in his native land. But Simone's real motive is personal. He wants to rescue his beloved Maria Clara from the convent and avenge the death of his father in a forest on Christmas Eve. Eve and Basilio, a medical student, recognize Simone's true identity as the man who helped bury his mother Sisa more than 10 years before. Under a tree, Simone is in the forest who retrieved the gems he buried near Sisa's grave. As a film progresses, all the secrets and introduce the relative and the plotter plan fails. A good Filipino priest throws Simone jewels away, thereby eliminating the greed, violence, and other evils they might have provoked.